If your beliefs are holding you back in your personal life or your style, stay tuned for today's video. Hello there, welcome to my channel. My name is Sarah and I am the Style Coach. If you're new here, you are very welcome. This channel is all about personal style and personal development. So if that's your thing, please go ahead, like the video, subscribe to the channel and join the community here. You can also find me over on Instagram at thestylecoach.ie, and if you'd like to sign up to my newsletter for exclusive style and well-being tips, you can do so over on my website, thestylecoach.ie. Today's video is all about those limiting beliefs that are holding you back from achieving your perfect style or your biggest goals or your biggest dreams. And this is very apt as this is, this second week of 2022. So if something is holding you back, it's time to change it. Life's too short to play it small. Let's go big. Let's be authentic. Let's bring out the best in ourselves without those little, voices telling us we can't do it or you're not good enough or all that business. I know I've had those voices too, and I know how to shut them down thanks to my training in neuro-linguistic programming and mind coaching, and I'm going to share that with you today. So let's get started with my 5 tips on how to challenge and shut down those limiting beliefs. First of all, let's take a look at what is a limiting belief. A limiting belief is something that you believe is true. You hold it as fact in your mind. And when you do so, it's stopping you from moving forward or from changing things or achieving things or going after what you really want in life. So, for example, I can't do that because I'm not smart enough. That's a limiting belief. You believe this to be true for you, and it's preventing you from moving forward with something that you might really want to achieve in life. So that is what a limiting belief is. The first step to shutting this limiting belief down is to recognize it. We go through our daily lives week to week, month to month, and we have all these beliefs in our mind. Some are useful, some are not so useful. But we don't stop to recognize them. Recognizing them is the first step to challenging them. So the next time you find yourself saying, I can't do that because I'm not good enough, I'm too ugly, I'm too fat, I'm too thin, I'm whatever, recognize it. Think to yourself, I know what that is. That's a limiting belief. It's not useful, it's not helpful, it's not making me grow. What can I do about it? So recognizing it is number 1. The second step to shutting down those limiting beliefs is to externalize the limiting belief. What do I mean by this? Simply write it down on a piece of paper. You've probably heard of, before you go to bed, when you can't sleep, you've got 101 things on your mind, things are stressing you out. You've probably heard the recommendation of write it down, get it out of your head, and deal with it the next day. It's similar when it comes to limiting beliefs. Externalize it, take it out of your mind, put it on paper. Remove yourself from it physically, write it down, push it away, and you will begin to start challenging this limiting belief. The next thing you want to do is examine the limiting belief. So now that you have it on paper, start to look at the words and the meaning of each word and question it. Question whether it is really true. Is it fact? Where did I get this from? So start to examine the structure of the sentence. Where did it come from? Do you really believe it? And how useful is it? Start to examine it as if you're walking around it, looking at it, and examine it from all the different angles that you can and see what that comes up with. Once you have examined it, now it's time to challenge it. So if your limiting belief is, I can't go into that shop because I'm too fat for it, start to challenge this. Ask yourself, how do you know it's true? Is it true all the time? When did I become too fat for this shop? When's the last time I was in this shop? Because things might have changed now. Is it true in every case all the time? What do I mean I can't go into that shop? Is it because I don't want to go into that shop? What's stopping me from going into that shop? Doesn't mean I have to buy anything. But what's stopping me? Start to challenge every little part of this sentence. Start to challenge the words that you are using. This is so important in neurolinguistic programming. Language that you use with yourself has incredible power over your mind. So challenging language that is not useful is one of the greatest things that you can do. Lastly, when you have recognized it, externalized it, examined it and challenged it, now it's time to replace it. So we've been chipping away at this limiting belief, and hopefully, and this might take time or it might be a very quick process for you, but hopefully you have now removed that limiting belief, or you will do in time. Now it's time to replace it with a more useful belief. For example, you could say, I could go into that shop and just take a look around with no expectations. Or a very different approach to this would be, that brand doesn't recognize all the beauty in all body shapes. And therefore, this is not in line with who I am, because I accept myself and I love myself. So begin to replace your limiting belief with something that's a little bit more useful and helpful to you and your lifestyle. When you use these 5 steps, you'll start to realize that you are capable of far more than you thought. And don't forget, this is not only about style, this is in any area of your life. So if you've been stopping yourself from doing something that you really wanted to do because some limiting belief is holding you back, it's time to knock that on the head and replace it with something more useful that's going to allow you to follow your dreams in 2022. That's it for today's video. Thank you so much for being here. I do hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you again next week.